Hey there guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Hazard12 here, and today I have got a new custom tactics video to share with you guys. It's by far the best custom tactic I've used so far this FIFA. It's so strong, it's so OP, it's so good defensively, and it's perfect for them counter attacks. If you like what you see, please do drop a like and subscribe. I'm going to do this video a little bit different to other videos I've done in the past. I'm going to have the gameplay on first in the background like you can see now, rather than at the end. I just feel like I waffle on a little bit during the intros and stuff, so for better have the gameplay at the start, then I'll show you the tactic afterwards. It's only going to be a few minutes long. I think it's only 2 minutes worth of gameplay, just so you get an idea of what the kind of football we're playing is and what kind of goals we're going to score and maybe even concede at the times as well. So the tactic itself is a 5 at the back formation. Like I said, I'll go into a lot more detail with it momentarily, but it is just so solid, really strong at the back, really good at creating counter attacks for your own team. It's good for players who maybe struggle in defence a little bit, because you can afford to make 1 or 2 more mistakes than usual, because you've got a few more players obviously in defence where one's out of position. A lot of the time you've got a bit of cover as well, so which obviously that's really strong and really beneficial, especially if you're a bit worried about how people pass and move a lot on this FIFA. Another thing that it's good for is it allows counter attacks. Like I said, if you can hold off the opponent and win the ball back at the right time, you can spring a counter attack, and you'll see it from the gameplay. You can see it from the gameplay. A lot of the goals that I'm scoring are based on me winning the ball back and waiting for runners to come up the pitch and exploit that space that my opponent leaves in behind. Like I said, the games are from FUT Champs have changed during FUT Champs. I'm not entirely sure what my record is with it, purely because I've played that many games with it. I couldn't tell you how many I've won and lost. I just know that I've won a heck of a lot more than I have lost, for sure. It's a lot of fun to play with because it benefits people who are good, and it benefits people who may not consider themselves to be great as well. You know, it works well for both people. It allows you to pick and choose the kind of attacks you want to create. There's a lot of passing and moving that you can see. There's a lot of passing and sort of runs off the ball that you can pick and choose to do as well. But that is the gameplay that you've seen there. I'm going to jump straight on now into the actual tactic itself and talk about a little bit more how it works. So then guys, into the tactic we are. It's going to be my ultra defensive little subsection bit, but don't look into that too much. I mess around with tactics that often that I just shove a tactic wherever it'll fit. So it just happens to be in the ultra defensive part, but that doesn't mean it's a defensive tactic whatsoever. It's going to be a 5-2-1-2. My opinion, the most OP formation I have used so far this year. And I'm going to explain why as I go through the tactics. So defensive style, I'll leave unbalanced. No need for anything else, I think, at this stage. I think that's perfectly appropriate. Width, I'll leave it 50. You've got the wing backs who are going to be wide enough at all times, to the point where you don't need to be manually changing that. Depth, I do push it up ever so slightly. I take that up to around 70, maybe 75, depending on who you've got at centre back. I don't have the quickest centre backs in the world, so I tend to leave it at 70, but you can push it a bit further forward if you've got someone a bit speedy at the back. Build up play, balanced. Again, with it being quite a counter-attacking system, you kind of choosing what kind of runs your players make manually anyway. But saying that, I do leave chance creation on direct passing, because if you read it, it says you know, when you're in possession, your players are going to be making chances by making runs in behind, and that is what we want to do. The reason we want to do that is because we're going to be solid at the back, and our opponent's going to get frustrated, he's going to be out of position, and we're going to exploit them gaps. With the same principle as a defensive style, I'll leave it as it is, because we've got that wide players who are already in that position. We don't need to be messing with that. Players in the box, I go up to 7 or 8, it just depends really. I leave on 7 personally, it doesn't make the world of difference. Corners, I just bob that up to 3, and free kicks up to 2. I think I do that on pretty much every tactic that I use. So the formation itself, then, this is what it looks like. I probably don't have the best players for this formation, which is quite crazy to think just how strong I am with this formation, and how strong I think everyone can be with this formation, because I've got Lucas Moura at left back, I've got Aspi at right back, who obviously isn't going to be the best at that with his pace being so low. But the team works really well, and the instructions are as follows. We leave Aubameyang, or just the left striker in general, as he is, as the default settings. We've got that direct passing on, so he's going to be looking in to make those runs in behind anyway. But at the same time, I also want an option of, you know, being able to hit a centre forward and hold the ball up a little bit and helping, you know, other players into the attack. It doesn't have to be a left striker. It's just, it happens to be my left striker. You can be who you want effectively. And my other striker, I just pop get in behind just to make sure that we've got someone making those runs in behind. Wilfred Zaha, our cam, I've got stay forward and get in the box for cross. This is a really important role. He scores loads of goals from coming up deep, coming up from deep. Sorry, he's always in the 6-yard box, ready for a tap in, and it's really, really important that you've got someone like that who can just, do a bit of movement, either distract a player, distract a centre back or whatever, or just be ready to put the ball in the goal. The two centre mids, then we'll start with Fabinho. I just leave him on balanced. Get in the box for cross and cover centre. I don't necessarily want him to be the most attacking player in the world, but at the same time, you need an extra body helping the attack. If you've just got 3 players up front, you're really going to struggle to score. I remember when I used to play FIFA a long, long time ago now, maybe FIFA 17 time. I used to play quite defensive. I used to think, right, if everyone's staying back, then I'm not going to concede, but then I would just never score any goals. So you want to make sure you got enough support with the attack. If you want, you can even put him on, get forward. But I find balance does a good enough job as well. I mean, as long as you've got enough players getting forward and enough, you don't even have to really necessarily use that player. It just needs to be a body further forward so the defence has something else to look at. Wilfred Ndidi, though, we do have stay back while attacking. We do have stay on edge of the box across, and we do have cover centre. I think Ndidi is actually a really good player on this game, by the way. If you've not used him yet, you should definitely try him. He's dead good at this role. He's strong and he's dead good at winning those tackles. He's just going to sit back basically and just do that. He's just going to try and circle up counter attacks and buy a defence a bit of time if you've got a few players out of position, or effectively just win the ball back quite high up the pitch, whichever one it is. He's going to be really, really good at that. And then onto the fullbacks, I leave them exactly as they are. I think there is a shout to put stay back while attacking, especially on Azpilicueta, because he's obviously not the quickest in the world. But I definitely want Lucas getting up there because he's so good going forward and he does score some goals. He does cut in, and obviously with finesses being so strong, he does manage to get the score sheet quite a lot. But it's kind of pick and choose. You don't necessarily need both your fullbacks forward, at all times, and sometimes it can get caught out. But with having 3 centre-backs, it's not the end of the world if they're not there all the time, especially if you've got some pacey ones. I mean, I've got Militao, who's pretty good at, covering for, if someone's out of position or whatnot. But, definitely one of them, Lucas, for me, getting forward and supporting the attack. But again, there is also an argument for staying back while attacking. It's a bit of a personal preference, really, whatever you feel more confident with. But that is it, guys. A really OP tactic. Definitely worth giving it a go. If you do give it a go, please let me know how you get on in the comments. I'd love to hear if you guys are doing well with it and getting some wins on FUT Champs and some rivals as well. I do wish you luck with it. But for now, I will catch you all next time. Thanks for watching.